Hello guys, today we're going to be repairing an oil leak on this '03 Honda Civic. So you can see the block here is wet. All this oil is running down the side here. So this is a pretty common issue with these Hondas, but it's coming from right up here. You can see to the right of the EGR valve, this is your EGR. So to the right of that, there's a plastic plug, and there's a O-ring on that plug, and that is just worn out, and oil is seeping through and running down the block. So to do this is pretty simple. We have to remove the EGR valve itself, and then you have access to that plug, and it's pretty cheap. You can get it for about $8 at the dealership, and I have it right here. There's your part number. They call it a cylinder head plug. It's plastic. It's pretty small. And you can see the O-ring around there. So it just pops right in. And then I went ahead and got an EGR Valve Gasket. Since I'm going to be removing that, might as well get a new gasket. There's your part number. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I'll go ahead and take this connection off. This just pulls right off here. We'll do that. And then there are two 12mm nuts. You can see one straight down there. And there's one in the back. I already have my socket on it. And once we loosen these up, we can pull the EGR valve straight up and out. Now to remove this plug, all you do is push here. You can see that lift up and pull towards you, like so. Okay, here's my little setup here. I'd have two extensions put together. I don't have one long enough. So, as you can see, that's how I was able to get that. Now it's at a slight angle, but the socket fits on that 12mm nut just fine. So go ahead and remove this now. Alright guys, I got the first nut removed. That stud actually loosened up, so once I get this EGR valve out of here, I'm going to have to remove that, or tighten that stud back up in there. And I actually used this magnet to grab that nut, because that would suck for that thing to fall down in there. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and remove this one up front here. Okay, for the nut on the front here, guys, I managed to find my 6-inch extension, the 1/4-inch drive, and I actually put the socket on the nut first and then the extension in there, because it was just too tight to get them in there, and then there was a slight angle there, and this way it worked out much better. So I highly suggest you guys get a 1/4-inch drive extension here for this. And yeah, I'll go ahead and remove this now and take the EGR valve out of here. You just have to wiggle past this wire here. Here we go. As you can see, this gasket here, we're going to remove that and replace it with a new one when we install. And I'll wipe this oil up down here. This is a mess. And I'll get that nut that I dropped with the magnet right there. There we go. Alright, before I proceed here, I'm going to wipe this up. Be careful not to get any debris in those holes. Alright guys, so I put a rag over top of the EGR hole. And what we're going to do is stick your screwdriver behind here and pop this cover right out. Okay, I'll go ahead and grab it. Alright, there we go. You can see that O-ring is worn out. And the new plug just pops right in. Alright guys, I have the new plug here. I put a light coat of oil on this O-ring and we'll just slide it right in. Just wanted to show you what it looks like inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop this down in here. This might be a little tricky to get it started. Alright, I finally got it started. So now, just a matter of pushing it in. And you apply some pressure here to get past that seal. And there we go. Good to go. Now this vehicle has about 125,000 on it. And this is the first time I've ever replaced this. So that's pretty good. It's a cheap part, $8. So go ahead and put that EGR valve back in place. Remove this rag here and install our new gasket with it. I did wipe this up as best as I could. It's good enough. And go ahead and put that EGR on. Alright, I just popped this gasket off and I'm just going to clean this old gasket pieces off of here and put the new one on and install it back in the vehicle. Okay, the surface is nice and clean here, and I can go ahead and slide this gasket down over these studs. Now it does not matter which way this goes, both the same side here. So we'll go ahead and slide this down into position. Alright, the gasket's on. I can slide the EGR valve back into place. Here we go. Now for the fun part, trying to get those nuts back on the studs. Alright, I got the first nut on. It's loose though. Now for the one in the rear, I'm afraid to drop this, so what I did, here's a little trick. I have the nut stuck inside the socket here, but if you get some grease and put it on the head of the nut and shove it in the socket, it'll stay. So I'm going to do that for the back here. Alright, I just finished tightening up these nuts. Everything's secure. Okay, last thing, snap your connector back in. That is it. I hope this helped you guys out. Please comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.